You know, there's nothing like being behind the scenes, having these type of conversations that we know is going to help other folks. Now, both of you are sitting there. We sent out this long, extensive bio, but what I'd like to do if I can, and I'll start with you, Michael, is take a moment and tell the audience, like, who is Michael, by the way, and what are you up to these days?
What am I up to today? First of all, man, let me acknowledge your audience for checking in with us and tuning into this show. And obviously, I want to give you a shout out for putting this platform together to give us an opportunity to share some positive information to inspire entrepreneurs. And so for me, I consider myself to be an irrepressible optimist with a passion for the impossible. I am president and CEO of Creation Publishing Group. And my intention and purpose is to empower people to transform their lives from the inside out. And so I'm the author of The New Face of Entrepreneurship. And my goal is to empower entrepreneurs to build companies that change the world.
Power entrepreneurs to build companies that change the world. For those folks that are just tuning in right now, what should they even expect from the conversation that you're going to be having today? They might be wondering, is this the right conversation for them? So what should they even expect?
Well, number one, they should expect to be optimistic and excited about the future. There's a lot of stuff going on. And a lot of people are depressed, and we've got all this negativity going out there. So if you've been looking for an injection of some optimism and positivity, that's what you're going to get out of this conversation.
Fantastic, man. Thanks a lot for sharing. And Charles, right down the street from me, well, you know, literally speaking down the street, you're in another state. Well, Washington, D.C. is not a state, by the way, although we should be, by the way. We have no voting rights, which is crazy, taxation without representation. I always get that in whenever I can. But in all seriousness, Charles, take a moment. They got your bio, man. They want to know, who is Charles and what are you up to these days, my man?
Love it, love it, love it. I want to thank everybody for coming on to this platform. I don't know what time it is where you are, but you right here where you need to be. And Mr. Shea Brown, thank you for allowing us to come here to just share the wealth. I'm going to talk a little bit about money. I know it's a taboo subject to a lot of people, but my goal before we get off of here, as we go through this conversation, I want to show people how I'm going to go get the money. If you're a business owner, you need to hear this. If you're not a business owner, you need to hear this. My name is Charles McClutchen. I'm a best-selling author. I say I'm Mr. Real Estate because I do real estate all across the country.
Wow, real estate all across the country, how important that is. You know, let me ask a question. I've been asking this question, Charles, of folks who've been attending and have been a guest like you are, an expert. With COVID-19 going on, with so much going on with making sure that Black Lives Matter is heard, and so much happening, how has your business shifted over the last 90 days as it relates to now operating in this new COVID-19 world?
You know what? A lot of people ask me, how am I still going? And I think we have two choices. You can either quit or you can keep going. That's all you can do. Mm-hmm. And I can't stop only due to everything that's going on. So what I'm about to tell y'all as we go through this, y'all going to see everything is just soaring. Even through the COVID, even through all this stuff going on, everything is still soaring.
I love it. Michael, what does your schedule look like these days? What type of conversation are you having with your colleagues? And more importantly, what type of conversation are you having with your clients right now?
Well, once again, I'm an optimist, and that's the lens through which I see the world. And as a thought leader and a speaker, it's really been amazing how we've transformed from live events to online events. And that's what's really amazing about this platform, that we have all these opportunities to learn and to grow. And so I'm seeing a lot of my business has actually increased as a result of the COVID. I've written several books targeted specifically to Black men. So I've got a lot of organizations wanting to talk about race. And that's been a really positive conversation because I focus primarily on Black male empowerment. So for me, this whole COVID has been a blessing.
A blessing. I love it. There's going to be some big winners, I believe, right now. There's going to obviously be some big losers. And we're all looking to be in the big winners column for sure, 100% sure about that. I know y'all both mentioned that you like to inspire, you like to empower. I know we got to get to a conversation in a moment. I know you're going to talk about this whole new entrepreneurship. And then Charles has made this big, bold claim that you can get credit, business credit. And it doesn't depend on your credit, so I can't wait to hear about that. By the way, we can't wait. We all like, okay, tell us about this. Take a minute each, if you would, and speak to the entrepreneur out there that's like, you know what, this has been very difficult for me. For you guys, business is going just fine. Got it. But I've had some other colleagues that have had to lay off some folks. I've had some colleagues right now that had to call their mortgage company and try to make sure that they can get some type of forbearance. I've had other colleagues that the whole income has been wiped out, and it's been challenging, and they're moving along. I'll start with you first, Charles, and then after that, we'll come right over you, Michael. But take a moment and take maybe a minute or two, and what words would you share with them before we kick off the show? I know you're going to talk about how great you are and all the wonderful things you do, but can you just talk to them for a moment and offer just some type of comments or thoughts? And it could be a single mom out there right now that's working 2 jobs. It could be a single dad out there. It could be someone that's married and things have shifted in the home and so much going on dealing with the kids all day long. So take a moment, just take a minute, maybe a minute and a half, and just share some words of encouragement. Do you mind doing that? I know that wasn't on the program, but you're here. We're in the green room, baby. This is what we do.
Hey, I love it. I get a lot of people that come to me just like what you said, and a lot of people want to put themselves down, and they want to, we have to be, like you said, optimistic on what's going to happen. I'm a praying man. I have the faith, and I know He didn't bring me this far just to bring me this far. So I tell people I've been where you are before. I've been broke before. I've been to the point to where, okay, is it food or gas? So I made the decision to say, okay, if it's gonna be, it's up to me. Nobody's coming to, in a sense, save you. And I'll give you all a quick example. Imagine you driving your car and something happens to the car and you're on the side of the road. You stand in your car beeping your horn for people to help you. Well, if you get behind the car and start pushing, people usually stop and try to help you. You got to start to help yourself first. So I tell people, you got like 42 seconds for the sob story. And then after that, come on, let's get to work. We got 2 choices. I'll always go back to that. Either you're going to keep going or you're going to quit. If you want to quit, I really can't help you. But if you want to keep going, I'll lock arms with you and we'll go through brick walls and brick walls and brick walls. Find somebody who's been there, done that, and follow that person.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. He didn't bring us this far to leave us. I think that was James Cleveland, by the way. I love it. I love it. Hey, by the way, Dwayne Reynolds is out there saying, let's go, let's go. Maria, thanks for joining, by the way. Carol, it is always a pleasure. You're in for a treat. You got double guests here. You're in for a treat. All right, Michael, I know you're sitting there. He's got his mind spinning. He's had some extra time to kind of figure this thing out. So talk to us. You got about 90 seconds now, and then we got a show. So what do you say to the folks out there right now to encourage and inspire them?
Well, at the age of 23, I was living the American dream. At the age of 29, that dream turned into a nightmare as I went through a divorce, bankruptcy, foreclosure, deep state of depression. I was homeless for 2 years living out of a car. But I made a choice, a conscious choice to rebuild my life. Now, it wasn't easy, but because of that choice and the commitment that I made to myself, I was able to rebuild my life. So I know what adversity looks like. And I understand that there's a lot of adversity out there, but I also know that every adversity brings us a gift and a lesson if we're willing to look deeply enough. And so my job is to coach people to recognize the gifts and adversity, the gifts and lessons that come in all adversity. So if you're watching this program right now, rest assured that you have everything in you already to overcome any obstacle. And by paying attention to this show, I hope you'll gain some insights that can support you in moving through the challenges.
Well, absolutely. We're excited. With that being said, what's up, Saucony Prince? We got a show. We're about to get kicked off. We're learning about the new entrepreneurship. And then this credit guy over there that's clapping and smiling is going to talk about how you can really build some credit and it don't have to worry about your credit. I don't want to miss that myself. We'll be back. We got to go, guys. We got a show in 5. This is my favorite. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is really to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision that you have. And I believe you have 3 visions, by the way. I believe you have 3 visions. I believe first, you have a vision for yourself, the way you want to live, the organic food that you've got to eat, by the way, you know, the fancy car that you want to drive or the neighborhood. In order to do that, it takes resources, which means it takes revenue. We're going to talk about that tonight. I can't wait to get into that money part. Need some cash. There's a second vision I believe you had, and we'll find out about this in this whole new entrepreneurship thing. And that vision you have is for yourself. I mean, for your loved ones, the ones you care the most about, the ones you want to write a check for and send to a school of their choice. Maybe like me, you have parents. Mother dear is still here. My father is no longer with us, Marshall Brown. He passed away back on May of 2017. But Mother dear is still here. And so I'm able to show her how to order stuff online. It does take resources. I want you to know they don't deliver anything on free online, but she loves ordering online. I think she's addicted to it. But maybe you need that. So it takes resources. That means it takes what? Revenue. Or maybe that last vision, that third vision you have, is you have a vision for the people you were called to serve. And whether you're a believer or not, I happen to be a believer, and you don't have to be, but there's this guy in the Bible. His name is Noah. And imagine you're Noah. I always like to tell this story. And you have this vision given to you by God. You've got the experience and expertise. You're ready to get going. And right before you get started, there's a knock. And you're like, what's going on? Excuse me, Noah. We're sorry to report, but there's no hammer in the house. No hammer? You never panic because there's no hammer, right? You don't. Excuse me, Noah. There's also no nails. There's not a nail left around. Sorry about that. We won't bother you again. Thanks a lot. No hammer, no nail. Guys, someone said you got to what? You either quit. I heard someone say that before we got started. Or you keep going. Noah's going to keep going. What's going on now? Excuse me, Noah. Last time, there's no wood. We have no wood. And there's no team to put the boat together. Good luck. And maybe that's you. You've got a big heart. You got the purpose. You got the passion. But there's no resources because there's no revenue. That's a problem. So this morning, this evening, this afternoon, you've got none other than Michael on one side, and you got Charles on the other, and they're going to help bring those resources. So let me just jump off and say, what's up, gentlemen? How you doing? What's up, Michael? How are you, my man?
Oh, man, I am fired up and ready to rock and roll, man.
Ready to rock and roll? I love it. I love it. Charles, how are you, my man?
I'm good. I just want to get the people a little something to eat. That's all.
Just a little something. Thanks a lot. D. Bolden, thanks for joining. Carol, thanks for watching. All of you out there watching right now, we certainly appreciate it. All right, Michael, take a moment, if you will. What's up, William Redmond? Take a moment, if you will. And I know you're talking about the new face of entrepreneurship. Take a moment and tell us what is that and why is it important?
Well, first of all, let's go back a ways and think about the Great Depression. A lot of people don't realize that during the Great Depression, there were more millionaires created during that time than any other time in previous history. Well, I see this today the same way. There's a lot of chaos. Economy is crashing. People are losing their jobs. But I believe if we're willing to look deeply enough, if we're willing to stop looking outside of ourselves and look inside, then we can gain access to what I choose to call divine intelligence. You can call it God, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But we all have access to this divine intelligence that can guide us to do exactly what we're put on the planet to do. So I believe that, number one, there used to be 3 things that used to keep people from starting a business. Those 3 barriers kept people from starting them. But now those 3 barriers have been removed. The first barrier used to be education. So think about it. There was a time in this country when black folks weren't even allowed to read. We didn't have access to information. Okay? So that education barrier is no longer applicable because I can now go to YouTube and basically learn anything I want to learn about starting or running a business. So education is no longer a barrier. The second thing that used to keep people from starting and running a business was location. It used to be location, location, location. So if you were fortunate enough to have a business, a brick and mortar store that had a lot of traffic, a lot of people with money, your chances of success was greatly increased. Well, guess what? Look at what's going on with brick and mortar stores these days. They're going away. Why? Because of technology, the internet. You can now do business literally around the world from the comfort of your home. Okay? So location is no longer a barrier. And last but not least, the one thing that kept people from starting businesses was show me the money. Lack of financing. Well, guess what? It is easier now to find funding than it has ever been before. Now, let's change that though. It's actually simpler now. Finding money is not easy, but it's simpler now. Why? Because of crowdfunding, and this Charles is going to be talking about credit and different ways to come up with capital. So there's really no excuse not to start a company right now. This is the best time to do it because those three barriers no longer exist.
Those three barriers no longer exist. Listen, one and only Tony Moore has joined. Tony Moore is one of the baddest attorneys, trademark attorneys on the planet out of Philadelphia. Thanks a lot for joining. By the way, we certainly appreciate you. And all of you who are tuned in and watching, do me a favor. You have my permission. We'll be talking about the new face of entrepreneurship. We'll be talking about how to really get business credit without using your credit. I think is what he's talking about here as well. I can't wait. Hit the share button. If you're watching right now, you have my permission. I'm sure Michael's okay with this and Charles is okay with this.
Absolutely.
You can pay this message forward to another entrepreneur, to another business owner. How do you do that? Hit the share button. Hit the watch party button. When you hit the share button, write these words: serve plus give value. And that's why they showed up today, to give value so it can help you or another entrepreneur that you know out there right now. So as they're hitting the share button, and we appreciate every one of you who are doing that right now. You're awesome. You're amazing. We thank you so much. We're going to help a lot of folks because of you. Michael, let me ask you a question. You call it the Entrepreneur's Guide to Joy, Passion, and Purpose. Take 1 minute and give us, what's your definition of joy, so we understand that? What's your definition of passion, so we understand that? And then what's your definition of purpose, so we can all at least be on the same field, the same level?
Well, at its core, joy is an inner feeling that we get when we're connected to something greater than ourselves. So for me, joy is an energy. It's something that it wakes me up in the morning. It gets me moving. It's this energy that really keeps me going. So when I have that joy, it fuels my passion. It's what gets me up and drives me to do things that a lot of people aren't willing to do. One of my favorite sayings is, I will do today what others won't so I can do tomorrow what others can't. And so the reason that I'm able to do that is because of the passion. I have this passion in me that really drives who I am. And then when you talk about purpose, purpose is what occurs when you take what you love to do and you're good at, okay? And you figure out a way to apply it to make the world a better place. So your purpose will be found at the intersection of that which you love and are passionate about and that which you're good at. Now, I am a communicator. I love public speaking. So that's one of my gifts. And I share my gifts with the world by being on stage and doing workshops and seminars and webinars. So I am on purpose, but I'm driven by that joy and that passion. It is that internal experience of my connection to something greater than myself. And I think what happens with a lot of entrepreneurs, they aren't driven by joy and passion. They're driven only by dollar signs. And that's why a lot of entrepreneurs are so unhappy and miserable. And even when they make tons and tons of money, they feel unfulfilled. Something's missing. So I focus and hope and coach entrepreneurs to recognize that you got to look within, because if you don't go within, you will always go without. So my job is to help people tap into that divine energy that is within them that will fuel them to do and accomplish the impossible.
You know, you mentioned in your book that there are three ways to tell if you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and share those 3 ways with us? And then, maybe I'll ask Charles if he's doing what he loves over there. But let's listen to Michael's view of the world right now. As he's giving us this view of the world, let's all listen with new ears. Let's watch with new eyes as he tells us, here's how to know if you're doing what you love. So talk to us.
First of all, when you're doing what you love, you will do it without the thought of compensation. You do it for the pure joy of doing it. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get paid to do it. As a matter of fact, you should get paid to do it. But you don't think about the money when you're doing it because it lights you up inside. Okay? That's number one. Number two, when you're doing what you love, time disappears. When you're really engrossed in something that you love, for example, I'm a writer, and I can sit in front of my computer for 12 hours writing, and I swear it feels like 10 minutes. Because I am so engrossed in what I'm doing. It's like, I like to call it downloading. It's like I'm so connected to this divine intelligence that it's just sort of pouring through me. So I get in what some people would call the state of flow. Flow is where you move past the intellect, you get into the heart, and this divine energy just moves through you. So that's the second way to tell when you're doing what you love. Time just disappears. And last but not least, when you're doing what you love, you want to share it with others. You see, you mentioned earlier about being in service. And I believe that when we share our unique gifts and talents with the world, we're actually being in service. We're sharing our gifts and making a difference in the world. That's, to me, is what service is all about. So when you take those three things, those are three great gauges to know if you're doing what you truly love.
I love it. Charles, as you're listening to him right now, what's up, Franz Kanzi? He's out there, man. As you listen to him talk, Charles, what are your thoughts? What's kind of going through your mind right now?
I love the when you're doing what you love talk, because it's a passion play. For me, it's about helping people. And you talked about the dollar signs, and people would assume that what I do is all about the dollar signs. And I said, y'all have me mixed up. It's not for me about the money. It's about the freedom. So when you have freedom, you have time and you have money and overlap. So for me, I'm going for it because I can help more people, and that's where all my blessings come from. People don't understand that piece. They're just trying to chase the dollar. But if you look at money, we call it currency, like current moves, or it's fluid. Money, water is fluid. It's going to fall right through your hands. People trying to chase it. You should attract money. You shouldn't have to. You should be able to sit right where you are, and money should come to you. And if you haven't figured that out yet, we need to get you somebody that can mentor you so you can get there. Y'all better share this, because we about to hurt y'all tonight. Y'all better share it with some people that you love, because we're gonna give y'all some information that you can take home.
Love it.
So Shay, can I piggyback on that? Because sure. Charles just shared possibly the most powerful word that most people don't get: freedom. The freedom to be who you are, the freedom to be alive and to feel passionate about who you are, and to know that you are 100% responsible for your life turning out the way you want it to. That's true freedom. And when you get to that place of freedom, everything else sort of falls into place. So thank you for sharing that, Charles.
Let me add one piece to that. I'm going to tell y'all this, and I'm going to humbly say this. I used to kind of sugarcoat stuff. I'm going to tell y'all right now, if you work like hard right now so you can get over to the side where freedom, there's nothing, I can't even explain freedom. I just can't. And at no point in time in my life to this day do I get up and leave my house to go work with people I don't want to work with. I'm going to stop right there.
One things you mentioned, Charles, one of the promises you made earlier was that you're gonna talk about this way that people can get business credit.
Yes.
Without truly relying, I guess, on their personal credit. And I think it's a good segue, because Michael's kind of laid the table and said, hey, there's this way that you can be joyful. There's this way you can be passionate. There's a way that you can do what you truly love, and it'll feel like time is not there. But there's also the first of every month, and there's a mortgage payment. Right? Mm-hmm. There's kids that have to go to college. And the one thing that we know, when you have more meaning, you can have more meaning in the world when you have more money. It's just a fact. It's not for all of you out there. I'm not saying for some of you this conversation is not for you. But if you want to do more good in the world, I promise you, when you have more money, you can do more good. You can serve more people. You can write a check for causes that you believe in to advance other folks. And that feels just as good. Trust me, it feels good. So take a moment, if you would, Charles, and kind of frame this conversation for us around credit, because it's a tough conversation, man. I mean, I've had bad credit, I've had good credit, I've had bad credit. Oh my gosh. And so I'm like, oh gosh. So take a moment and talk to us about credit and how you can build business credit.
So, y'all, I have the MBA. I did all that, have the degrees, and I thought that I'm not discrediting anybody going to school. Please don't say that. Please get your education, do what you have to do. But I thought that it would prepare me for business. And when we go through business, most people go get an LLC, EIN, DUNS number, and then we're off and we're running. We're trying to make this money. So I learned it the hard way. I'm going to be real quick on this little one. Down in Texas, I'm doing a deal down in Texas, and it's a private community, and it's an $8 million deal. When they bring the $8 million to the table, I'm getting $750,000. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, yeah, I'm going to get that. We spending that money before we even get it. Please believe that. So what happened, 12th hour, they walked away from the deal, 750 just faded away. And I'm going to tell y'all, I was hurt. Feelings was hurt. And I said, at that moment, I said, okay, that can never happen again to me. That's when I said, I need to find out where the money is, because there's money out there. I just don't know where it's at. So along that journey, I picked up my mentor. My mentor would tell me, Charles, there's no shortage of money. There's no shortage of money. So I started doing my searching. The biggest pot of money we have out there, and I'm going to get to business credit, the biggest pot we have, federal contracts. We have billions out there for us. All of us that's on this line right now, billions. You need to get certified. You need to get, because I have a macro certification, a micro certification. I have a veteran-owned business certification. So I'm getting government contracts. And then I found business credit. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I know some of y'all may think you know what business credit is, but let me tell you, I'm going to put the S on my chest and tell y'all who I am. So business credit is this to me. That means you can get money without a credit score, without giving a personal guarantee, without your social security number. That's business credit to me. Now, business credit to a lot of other people, hey, just go to Bank of America, go to this bank, and then they'll give you a business credit card and you got business credit. But they're going to tap your credit score. So I don't care if you have a 400 credit score. Credit scores and business credit are two totally separate things. I'm going to give y'all some examples so y'all can follow me on this one. Now, let's say, most everybody in America, we living from paycheck to Tuesday. Let's keep it 100. I'm not going to sugarcoat y'all. Paycheck to Tuesday, and we know on the 25th of the month, that's when people, we waiting on that check to come on the first. We waiting on that check, like a lot of other people. God forbid something happened to your tire on your car. Now you can't get it fixed. So imagine you have business credit, and you have a business credit card that goes, you can actually repair your tire with the gas card on the business credit side of things. So a lot of y'all, we all do business. I don't know if y'all got printer paper at home. You have ink cartridges. You have a printer itself. You have Staples business credit card. Why are we not utilizing those type things to buy? We use those vendors to buy those things for our businesses. So business credit is just different, y'all. And I'm gonna give y'all some steps on that. Y'all don't even have to write this down. I have it all for you. Before we end this, I'll give it all to you so you don't have to write it down. I want you to watch it as it flows.
Now, what do you say to the person that says, okay, intellectually, I get this. Makes sense. Borrow someone else's money so I can get some things done. Intellectually, that makes sense, and it makes sense. Sense and sense. I like that. But the question is now, I know we don't have so much time, but it's the how. They're thinking, okay, my man, I heard you. Can you peel back the curtain one more layer? Yes. And kind of walk the elementary school person through like Shay Brown and says, all right, I'd apply for some credit and they done turned me down. I'm probably the only one that's ever happened to. I know that probably happened to you guys out there. I get it. But they wanted me to sign my mortgage. They wanted me to sign something to make a promise so they know they can take my house. And so they've been through that. So how does someone that's listening now, what's step 1 or step 2 or step 3 they can go through so they can really say, you know what, I need to leverage this. This can help me, and it can help the people that I'm called to serve. What do you say to that person that's watching right now?
Most of us go out and we use our credit scores. We got 3 things, the 3 C's, credit, cash, and collateral. If you don't have those, you're not getting any money. And on the credit side of things, so there's a credit side and then there's a business credit side. And I had to coin a term true business credit because they mix and interchange the two. So with business credit, you have to use your credit score. With true business credit, you do not. But if you have a lender, lenders say, because I speak to lenders all the time, I speak to underwriters all the time, because that's part of the real estate side of me. So most people just mash them up and say business credit. So when you're looking at business credit, what I tell people to do is get their business in order. And what I mean by that is you can get denied credit from like business credit. You can get denied just because the name of your company. A lot of people don't even know that. You can get denied because something on your website doesn't match something in your business documents you sent off to the state. If everything doesn't match across the board, you won't get qualified, because when we put in applications, it's a computer system that checks us. See, I got denied 5 times, so I'm an expert at being denied. So what happens is you have to get a professional, you get your professional business email, and that'll be like charles@charlesmcclutchen.com. So I have some of those professional ones. I still use a Gmail, but I don't use the Gmail to go get the money though. You use your professional business email to go get the money. Some of y'all have home addresses for your business. Now, I'm not saying you won't get qualified, but let me give you this scenario right here. In between these two polls right here is 100 businesses. If you use your home address to go get funded, all that does is start to limit the people, the lenders that's going to give you money. So my thing, when I tell people, just do it the right way, get a virtual business address if you have to. You can't use a P.O. box. So you got your cell phone. A lot of people try to use their cell phones. A computer system can tell if you use a cell phone or a business phone, a professional business line. Computer checks it out, not a human. And all they do is red flag you. And let me tell you what they do, because it happened to me. They sent it back to you and said, hey, you're denied. And they say, figure it out. So guess what I had to do? Figure it out. And it's not any fun. So those are some different steps. Like I said, I have all this stuff written down, and you don't have to write it down, but I have it for you. Before we end this, I'll make sure I give it to you if they remind me. But no, those are like 3 steps that I start out with, and I start breaking people's business down to see, what they're doing. I ask people, do they have vendors? And some people say, well, what's a vendor? A vendor to me is Walmart, Sam's Club, Lowe's, Sunoco. So those companies, they vouch on behalf of your business to say, Michael, we're going to vouch on behalf of your business and give what we call, I might go down this rabbit hole just a little bit, give what we call a paydex score to your business. And that paydex score is like our credit score on a personal side. So our credit scores are from 350 to 850. If those that didn't know, maybe 300 to 850, what have you. But on the credit side or business side, it goes from 0 to 100. You want to make sure you have an 80, 90, or 100, and that means you're lendable to a lender. I interviewed so many lenders. I interviewed bankers. I interviewed underwriters just so I can understand this thing, because I knew that people were getting funded. And I said, how can you get funded without a credit score? And when I put this out all over the country, because I travel to do this, and people say, you can't get that, man. I'm telling you, Warren Buffett has it. You have Walmart. They have it. Imagine how Walmart's doing it. And you can look it up online. Walmart, the last time I checked, they had $50 million in business credit that's not attached to them. It's attached to an employment identification number. So imagine how Walmart does it. They take that $50 million, they stock their shelves, we go in there, spend our hard-earned money, and then they just take that money and pay that business credit off and still make money off of us. Family, if you are in business, or if you're a business owner, you owe it to yourself to get government contracts. You owe it to yourself to get business credit. Those are the 2 things.
Last question. So well said, by the way. Thanks a lot. That's a quick educational piece, by the way. Why do entrepreneurs not pursue this? I mean, it seems, and I've been guilty again. I'm not just talking to me. I know you have the same question out there. You might be wondering, why does Shay or other entrepreneurs, if they notice, why do they not go do something about it? What's kind of holding people back?
Let me tell you what's not going to happen, y'all. What's not going to happen is you're not going to luck up and get, I call it true business credit. It's not going to happen that way. It's not being taught in schools. It's not being taught in business school. And my job is to just educate people as I go along, and it can get hard. Like, I could have quit the third time I got denied. Easy. I could have said, man, that junk don't work. And I get people all the time that come at me and say, well, my lawyer said it doesn't work. I said, you should listen to your lawyer. I'm not arguing with no grown people. I don't do that. I just say either the information is there, but see, I drop receipts as well. And I don't like to, but when I drop the receipts and, you know, seeing is believing to some people, they like, oh, shoot, I think it is for real. And, you know, I just be like, okay, let me bless y'all real quick and just drop it. So then you can see it, because seeing is, it's all laid out there, and you can see people like, this guy got $235,000. This person got $140,000. This person got $120,000. And when you seeing people getting that type of money, and you're not going to get the same type of money with credit. Like, if you and I went, we got everything the same in our business. If you go get credit and you use your credit to get some money, they're gonna give you just enough to stay right here. Business credit is like 5 to 10 times greater than just regular credit.
Oh man, that's like super cool stuff. What's going on, Crystal Cunningham, Gene Williams? Thanks for joining. Deborah Gardner out there in Phoenix, Arizona says, thanks for bringing your knowledge to us, guys. Thanks a lot. Cheryl Graham, what's going on? Donna McDaniel says, this is very interesting. Sophia, we're glad to have you aboard, and all of you right now who are watching right now, by the way. Cheryl says he is so right now. Michael, as you listen to Charles over there, and he's you know, giving us his view of the world. What's kind of going through your mind right now?
Well, I'm reminded of my own self when I went through my divorce and bankruptcy and foreclosure, and I'm trying to figure out, you know, how to put my life back together. Mm-hmm. And what I found was my biggest downfall was my, what I'll call a scarcity mindset. Mindset is everything. And so I had to go through a process of understanding how my thoughts and beliefs were actually keeping me from attracting the things I wanted into my life. Mm-hmm. And so when I started practicing some of these principles, I was in a rundown, dilapidated apartment because that's all I could afford. I was making minimum wage, but I started practicing these concepts, these universal law concepts. And long story short, I had an organization give me a check for $50,000 to launch a nonprofit organization in which I developed programs for kids. Now, I did all of that. I didn't even have a car at the time. I was riding around on a bicycle, okay? The point is, everything happens in here. And if we aren't willing to change our mindset about who we are, what we believe, abundance is a mindset. And until we shift our internal mindset, nothing changes. So that's how I was able to start rebuilding my life, by changing my mindset. And that's why in my book, I challenge people to start looking at the importance of things like your imagination, your intuition, those still small voice within us that will guide us to do the right thing. And so the new face of entrepreneurship is simply a new way of looking at yourself as an entrepreneur, recognizing that you are the heart and soul of the business. And when you learn to tap into your own unique gifts and talents and trusting in that which is greater than yourself, you can be guided to do the things you need to do. It may not be easy, but it's possible.
Not easy, but it's possible. Speaking of it's possible, one of the core values we have here, gentlemen, at the Happy Entrepreneur Show is a core value called Today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are watching right now, you're like, Shay, I know where we're going. You know, you can go ahead right now and you can look right below the video and you can write today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are hearing it for the very first time, today is my January 1st represents one of those moments throughout the day. And it doesn't have to be January 1st, it's any day where you get to make a decision, and that decision could forever change the trajectory of your life. So you make a decision to either work out or you sit back and watch Netflix and kind of cool out. You make a decision to eat hamburgers and French fries. Some of y'all need a little salt and pepper. I get that, and some ketchup on it. And that's okay. Or you go to your refrigerator, you open it up, and inside there's some kale. That that tastes pretty good. You also have some broccoli. You'll have some of that. There's some Brussels sprouts. So today is my January 1st is a new start. It's a fresh beginning. It's a do-over because your past does not equal your future. So Michael, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, and every one of you right now, you can write those words. You can look right below the video, and you can write those words right now. What do you hear, Michael? What does that mean to you?
What it means to me is I listen to Anthony Robbins, the great motivational speaker, who says, to be successful, you must commit to CANI, C-A-N-I, constant and never-ending improvement. Therefore, I commit to growing. I commit to learning. I'm reminded of a scene in the movie The Matrix where Neo has the opportunity to take the red pill or the blue pill. You take the blue pill, you stay asleep. You take the red pill, you wake up to who you really are. The greatest gift we have as human beings is our power to choose. And you just mentioned, you said you can choose to watch Netflix or you can choose to grow. So I commit, today is my January 1st, to commit to constant and never-ending improvement. And one important aspect of that for me is a daily meditation practice, which has literally changed my life.
Man, fantastic. Charles McClutchen, what are you thinking over there, man? Today is my January 1st. What do you hear? What does it mean to you? By the way, Cheryl Graham is writing, today is my January 1st. Kathy's out there writing. Donna says, today is my January 1st. Talk to that, Charles.
I love it. This is what it brings me back to. It brings me back to, if I had nothing today, what would I do? How would I start out? And I know a lot of y'all out there that's watching right now, you could be down and out. You know, it could be your January 1st as it should be. And it's almost like you're always learning. January 1st should be every day for me. I'm a sponge. And people try to, give me titles. And I don't want those titles. Let me continue to be a student. I love to be a student and continue to learn. So for all those out there, I would say, cut off the TV. We're supposed to, by the time we hit age 65, we watch 9 years of TV. Cut the TV off. This is only for the people. Now put your hands over your ears if you don't want to hear it. This is only for the people who want change. So cut the TV off, cut off the radio, stop hanging out with your friends who ain't gonna really help you. If you was in some trouble anyway, and you needed to pay the light bill or something, they probably can't be there for you. So you got to find you a mentor. Find a mentor and do 100% what that mentor says. Make sure that mentor has done everything that you're working to do. Please, if you decide to take their information, be willing to take their lifestyle.
Take their information and take their lifestyle. I love it. There's some folks right now, they're fired up. They're like, today is my January 1st. They can't wait to get started, just like they were, by the way, back on December 31st. After a couple drinks on the back of a napkin, they were writing down some New Year's resolutions. And for some, that worked out really well. And for others, well, today is your January 1st. My question to you first, Charles, and then I'll come to you, Michael. My first question to you, Charles, is what do you share with your clients in order for them to be consistent? You probably heard before that consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Yet, what do most people struggle with? And my hand is raised. Is they struggle with what? Consistency. So how do you hashtag stay the course? Talk to us.
I look at it, you have to have somebody there to make you accountable. I have mentors and they give me things like, Charles, you need to do this. And I just do it. And I do it because I know I got to come back and I got to present something that, that in a sense appeases them. So that consistency is hard. It's like, especially, I think the hardest part for consistency for me is when I left corporate and nobody's telling you to get up out the bed. And so that's where that passion comes in. So if you're doing something you're passionate about, consistency is like easy to me anyway. Like every day is Saturday for me. So it's easy for me. I'm up sometimes at 3 a.m. So I guess it's different for different people, but I will hold you accountable if you allow me to. But if you don't allow me to, because I get some people that's grown who going to tell me how they're going to do it. And I just laugh and I say, well, let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah, let me know how that works out. I love it. Michael, how do you hashtag stay the course? What do you share with your clients? What do you share with other folks on a daily basis so they can be consistent in good times or challenging times? Life is a series of duality. We have high highs, we have low lows, we have summer, we have winter, we have spring, we have fall. There's always constant change. So how do you help them hashtag stay the course? For all of you out there that are watching right now, you can participate as well. You can hit the share button. You can hit the watch party button. When you hit the button to pay this message forward to another entrepreneur, just go ahead and write in that subject line, that little box when you first hit the share button. Go ahead and write those words. Today is my January 1st. And go ahead and encourage, inspire someone else. All right, Michael, talk to us.
Well, if you're an entrepreneur, you should understand what a SWOT analysis is. Your strengths, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats. So take that same concept and apply it to yourself. Be willing to look at, what am I really good at? What am I really strong at? What am I really weak at? What are the opportunities for me to grow, to transform? And what are the threats that's going to keep me from reaching my fullest potential? Now, I love what Charles said about the importance of mentors. And so it's important to have a network or a support system that can hold you accountable and help you see those parts of yourself that you may not be willing to look at. So when you do a SWOT analysis on yourself, you may not be 100% honest. But if you've got that network around you that can call you out on your stuff when you're not being honest, that's how you grow. That's how you change. So as Charles mentioned, get a support system, get a network of people that's going to hold you accountable for you reaching your fullest potential, but be willing to do that SWOT analysis on yourself. Ask yourself honestly, what am I really good at? What am I weak at? I hate numbers. I hate bookkeeping. Drives me nuts. I don't like it. I can do it. I just don't like it. So I know that's a weakness for me. So what do? I hire a bookkeeper. So I don't invest in things that I know I don't like and I'm not good at. So it's up to you to figure out what are your weak points, and then what are the opportunities for growth. I love what Socrates says. He says, "To thine own self be true." And so being true to ourselves, understanding who we really are, those are the opportunities for us to wake up to. So once again, it boils down to constant and never-ending improvement and becoming the best version of yourself.
Love it. Michael, how can folks connect with you? As they're listening right now and saying, wow, okay, I like to tune in, I like to stay in this conversation with you over and beyond today. How can they best connect with you?
Well, if you're committed to being an entrepreneur, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to build a business per se, because to me, an entrepreneur is simply someone who receives compensation in exchange for a product or a service. So your service could be smiling at somebody. That could be a service. So my point, though, is that we're all entrepreneurs in some form. So the simplest way to catch up with me is just go to joypassionprofit.com. That's all one word, joypassionprofit.com.
Okay, and then once they get over to joypassionprofit.com.
Okay.
You
log on there, you get access to a powerful free video that will support you in overcoming any obstacles and challenges that you want. And it's a lot of resources to help shape your mindset about being an entrepreneur.
Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate that. All right, one of the things we believe in, Charles, is we believe in the giver's economy, baby. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. So now folks are like, wow, how do we connect with Charles? And he's been saying, I've got this. Don't take any notes. No, don't write this down. No, don't worry about that. Well, now this is what they call showtime. So I'm going to turn it over to you, man. How can people best connect with Charles McClutchen? Talk to us, man.
Free content, y'all. I got a lot of free content. And what I did is, as I did the steps, I wrote it down. And then I have the certificates for the nonprofit. I have the government certificates. I have the real estate downloads that y'all can use. I just have a lot of content. The business credit, I have that as well in video, so you can take it, you can rewind it and go forward. You can go to Jim's Miracle for Help No, don't go to that one. I have that's another one. Sorry about that. I have Hidden Gem Consulting. That's where a lot of my content is. HIDDEN, hiddengemsconsulting.com. hiddengemconsulting.com, HIDDENGEM consulting.com. And on there, you'll see like everything that I do, I put on there from, the business credit is on there, how to get credit is on there, how to start a nonprofit, government contracts, all that stuff is on there. Because I already did it. So I'm showing you like you can do it as well. I need you to do it. I need you to do something. We need more business owners.
Love it.
In a big way.
Love it. Thanks a lot for sharing. We're now in a phase called rapid fire. For those folks that are watching for the very first time, rapid fire is where I ask any question that's top of my mind, and they have a minute or less to answer the question. We did say a minute or less. I know you audience, you like the less part more than a minute. I get it. Don't worry. I just gave them a heads up on that. So anyway, the first question I have, I'm just curious, as you guys have been talking all night, what does success mean to you, Michael?
Success to me means waking up in the morning and then going to sleep at night. And in between those times, doing exactly what I love to do.
Exactly what you love to do. If you can, Charles, what is your secret to overcoming a setback? Like, how do you will yourself to bounce back?
I think it's more of a learning. Okay, well, that didn't work. I don't take that and just be like, I'm not down like that. I'm just like, man, okay, that didn't work. Well, I'm going to try it this way, but I'm going to use an expert or somebody who already did it to use their information and then do it until it works because they did it. So if one person can do it, I can do it.
I love it. I love it. Take a moment, Michael. I'm sorry. I'll go back to Charles. Take a moment, Charles, and share maybe an idea that you learned from a mentor that you can pass on to us. I know you had so many mentors along this journey of life, but if there was one idea you can pick from any one of them, what's the idea you learned that you can pass to us, the audience?
I think one of them, this is just off the cuff right now, but the one that helped me believe in me to make me say, okay, I'm going big, is that one that said, there's no shortage of money. He sat there, one of my mentors sat there and told me, well, Charles, I'll give him 150 million. That's easy. There's no shortage of money. So for me, when you really believe that in here, and as Michael said, his mindset first, but I truly wholeheartedly believe there is no shortage of money. We just don't have the right idea or the right thing to go get the money to want people to give us the funding. So you got to get right first. When you get right, then people will be attracted to you and want to give you something that can help you and lift you up.
Sure. And for you, Michael, what's one of the lessons you learned from one of your mentors that you can share with us, please?
Well, again, I'm a firm believer in universal laws of the universe. And so there's a quote that says, inherent in every intention and desire are the mechanics for its fulfillment. In other words, you can't even have an idea without the ability to create that idea. And so for me, that idea comes from that which is greater than myself, which I choose to call divine intelligence. So when we learn to tap into and listen to that divine intelligence, it will begin sending us ideas of what to do. And if we'll learn to listen and trust and take action, that's the key.
Yeah.
Take action, we can make anything happen.
We can make anything happen. That is so true. First, let me say I appreciate both of you being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. For all those folks that are out there that are watching right now, you can give them a digital applause. And how do you give a digital applause? You can look right below the video, and you can put thank you, Charles. You can put thank you, Michael, or we appreciate you, Michael, or we appreciate you, Charles. Or you can just share, if you just want to share your big takeaway, because your big takeaway could be someone else's big breakthrough. And that's the way you can give a digital applause. I want to first say thank you so much, Michael. We certainly appreciate you being here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I know you didn't ask for a Cash App payment. You didn't ask for a credit card. There was no Visa. You said, I'm there and I'm here to serve, and we appreciate that. So what I like to do, and since you have a big heart to give and a heart to serve, I'd like to share and let you have your final thoughts, your final comments right now to empower, to inspire someone that's out there that's listening right now. But once again, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, man. We appreciate you. Got to have you back, do a deeper dive in the book.
Well, first, again, to acknowledge the audience, because I remember when I was deeply depressed and trying to figure out how to put my life back together, it was shows like this that inspired me to get back on track. So to the audience who's listening, there are no accidents in a perfect universe. You're listening to this for a specific reason, and I hope you've listened well so that you can use it to your advantage. And next, I want to, number one, acknowledge you, Shay, for this platform. And I love the Happy Entrepreneur brand, because it's all about joy and passion and being happy. And so when we can get into that place of joy, passion, and purpose, then it's about being happy. That's what it's really all about. So again, I want to acknowledge you for being or creating this space that allows me to share my message. And my closing thought is to simply be optimistic. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's out there that's wrong. But we have to understand that the media's job is to show you everything that's wrong. But there are a lot more things that are right with the world than are wrong with it. So focus your attention on that which is right and move confidently in the direction of your dreams. So thank you, Shay.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. Charles, thanks a lot, man, for being on the show, man. We certainly appreciate it. You were raw. You were real. You said, hey, this is the real deal, and this is how it works. And so for a number of entrepreneurs out there, they can go now and take that step and get the financial help that they need in order to purchase the resources to execute those visions they have for the people you were called to serve. So we certainly appreciate that, man. Thanks for giving of your expertise. Thanks for giving of your experience, and thanks for giving of your time. So I want to turn over to you, man, if you would, to have your final thoughts. Any comments that you have? These fiber optic lines, they're going to go away. Okay, these lights won't be on. There won't be someone saying go, go, go. So what are your final thoughts to the person that says, "Wow, I've been right here, man. This is my time. I know it's my time. I know this is my time." What do you say?
Give y'all a treat. I'm gonna give y'all a treat. This is something special. I'm gonna do it because I'm on your show. No, but for the people out there, thank y'all for even supporting. We can't do any of this without the crew out there. And then for Shay just giving us the platform to enjoy this. And Mr. Michael, thank you, sir, for keeping on, because we need more people like you, my brother. So for the people out there that's watching and everybody else, what I'm doing, I'm gonna be going city to city. And I'm gonna go city to city because I'm packaging up something for all of us. And this is a development. This development is a multi-use $200 million development. And I'm going to cookie cutter it and pick it up and take it and put it in Detroit and put it in Indiana and put it in Dallas and put it in different places, whoever wants it. And if I can do it, everybody can do it, because I'm going to give you not the blueprint, I'm going to give you the black print. And I'm going to show you how to get the money to actually do that. And I'm going from city to city. I'm going to make it happen. It's going to be some online, but I'm just going to package it up because we can do this as a people, but we have to do it together and grow. So for everybody out there, I just want to say, God bless y'all. Do great things. Support one another. The dollar's out there. Don't go chasing it. Find some good people and stick with them and just grow.
Well, with that being said, thank you both for being on here. I want you to know, for all of you viewers, we certainly appreciate you. Make sure you stay tuned. If you haven't hit the like button so you can stay in this conversation, hit the share button so you can pay this message forward to someone else. This information can bless someone else right now. And we certainly thank you for doing that so we can get this message out. And also, I want you to know that for you, you have greatness inside you. For you, that this is your moment, that this is your time. And for you, today is your January 1st. You can get that credit without tying it to your personal credit. Today is your January 1st. There is a way for you to love what you're doing, have joy, have passion, and have purpose. And today is your January 1st. That the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. I believe in my heart for you, for me, and all of us, the best is yet to come. With that being said, for those folks who want to know who's doing all that yelling, who's doing all that shouting, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long. Life is short. Live in the moment and make it count. God bless, and we wish you success. Thanks a lot, gentlemen. We wish you success. We'll talk to you later. Peace, everybody. We're out of here. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. If you're doing it, put your hands. Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.